Hi students, and welcome to today's live IELTS class. My name is Adrian and I'm streaming to you from beautiful Victoria here on the west coast of Canada. I hope everybody is having a fantastic weekend and staying healthy and strong and optimistic. Welcome Jaineel, welcome to all of the people who are joining in. This lesson is presented to you by aehelp.com for academic IELTS success. Check us out there. And for the general IELTS, visit us at gieltshelp.com. On both of those websites, we have lots and lots of information to help guide you and teach you for success on the IELTS exam. Hi, Rashika. Hi, Saga. Good to have members joining in. This is a members chat class. Everybody is welcome to watch. To become a member, click the join button next to the subscribe button on our YouTube channel. While we wait for a few more members, I'll show you what our websites look like. This is our academic website here at aehelp.com. You can click this big red button to join our premium package and get access to all of our videos, strategies, practice exams, phone applications. We are a British Council IELTS registration center and certified agents. And this is our general IELTS here with the green background. You can click that big red button to join us there. It is a one-time payment for lifetime access, so it's well worth it. Welcome, Nico. Hi, Rajveer. Good to see many more of our members in the class. You can follow us on Instagram, IELTS_AEHelp and GIELTS Help. We have a new listening challenge on our Instagram pages, so you can go there and try that listening exercise. It's kind of fun. I looked at it and tried it myself. And if you have any questions, send me an email to adrian@aehelp.com. I will answer your inquiries in due time. Now, our schedule coming up today, we have grammar for IELTS. This one's for members. And then after that, today we'll have a little bit later speaking part 3. Everybody will be able to join in on the chat for that. Then from the 25th to the 27th, as usual, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, we do not have live classes. We're busy with all kinds of other interesting work like making HD videos. And then from the 28th until May 1st, we are going to have the same schedule as so far. And we're currently looking at a new schedule. So following May 1st, from May 5th, Cinco de Mayo, we will have a new class schedule coming. People have been voting on the times, and it looks like people would like the other time more. So members, if you haven't seen the new option for the classes, check out our YouTube community posts, and you can see it there, so you can get your vote in. But it definitely looks like more people are favoring different class times, so that it's more convenient for their time zone. So check that out. All right, so getting into today's lesson, building, understanding, and practicing grammar from the basics to the advanced using speaking part 2 questions. So I decided that today we'll take a little bit of a different approach to a part 2 question and focus a little bit on what you can do to improve your grammar in your speaking and in your writing for your IELTS exam. Grammar, of course, is the structure of language. It is extremely important for getting those higher band scores. And it's a part of communication that everybody can continuously improve on. There are so many different kinds of grammar and grammar rules in the English language that really learning grammar should be something that everyone enjoys doing, and it's lifelong learning, whether you're a non-native or a native speaker of English. In fact, oftentimes non-native English speakers know grammar rules better than native English speakers, okay? And I see, Rajveer, you already have a question. Rajveer says, how can I use complex grammar structures naturally in both writing and speaking? I'm going to talk about that today, Rajveer, so that's a great question, okay? All right, so First, I'm going to talk about building grammar. And to do this effectively, you always want to use grammar in context, okay? So learning grammar out of context, it's okay, but it's not effective. So I'm sure some of you have seen, or all of you have seen grammar books in English where you open up a page, it gives you a topic like present perfect, and then it gives you an explanation, and then it gives you just some exercises. You go through them, you check them, and that's okay, but it's not in context. So grammar, you definitely want to learn in context. And Rajveer, that is connected to your question about how to use it naturally in writing and speaking. You want to practice it naturally. Okay, that's the first step. So let's talk a little bit about building grammar up, and then I'll get into some interesting details. First, we're going to look at this part 2 question. This is going to be the context of our grammar. Okay, so this part 2 speaking question, this is a cue card. So if you're in the IELTS, you're doing a speaking interview, about 5 minutes into the interview, you will get a card with some questions on it, like this one, and then you have to speak for 2 minutes. Okay, so for this one here, it's going to be different. It's not your usual cue card class that you have from me. It's going to be a little bit of a focused class on grammar. So let's just read this card first, so it's clear what the context is, and then we'll get into the grammar components. So read with me. Part 2, not task, talk. Talk about a beautiful building in your city. What is this building? Where is it located? What is it used for? What makes this building beautiful? You will have 1 to 2 minutes to talk about this topic. Great. Okay. So I'm just going to pick a building for us today. I think one that we're all familiar with is the Burj Khalifa. Okay. Let's just imagine we all live in Dubai, and we want to talk about this very impressive building that is the world's tallest building. Okay, so I'm going to teach you grammar using the questions of this cue card, so you can see how you can put together a nice, complex response using good grammar. All right. So first of all, we're going to go question by question, and we're going to go with this one first. What is this building? Okay. So what I'd like you to do, members, and right now we're working on building grammar. Okay. Building grammar in context. All right. Step 1, create a simple sentence to answer the first question in a cue card. Okay, and you'll be able to practice this after at home. Okay, and of course you can use the internet and grammar books to help you along the way. Today I'm here to help you myself. So we'll talk about this. What is this building? Now, all I want you to do, so this is a kind of a workshop class, Rashika, Janil, Nico, Saga, whereby you're going to be doing the work. I'm going to guide you. So what is the Burj Khalifa? Answer this for me using a simple sentence, okay? So a simple sentence, of course, is subject, verb, object, okay? So what is the Burj Khalifa? Write an answer for me that's just simply subject plus verb plus object, okay? And we can have some different answers for this. I would like you to do this, members, okay? So I'm not going to write this sentence. You're going to write this sentence. It should be a very, very simple sentence with just a few words, starting, of course, with something like the Burj Khalifa. Okay. Now think about, yeah, so Saga says the Burj Khalifa is the tallest building in the world. Okay, I'll take that sentence. Now, before you say that, Saga, let's try to answer the question. So the question here is talk about a beautiful building in your city. So instead of just giving a fact about the Burj Khalifa and saying it's the tallest building, I know that's the first point that's coming to your mind. And this will be an interesting kind of exercise on your thinking as well. Instead of saying it's the tallest building, answer this question with this simple sentence. So talk about a beautiful building in your city. You're always working on answering the card, okay? So sure, we'll look at that sentence soon enough about it being the tallest building. But before that, give me a simple sentence to start this cue card response, just a very basic sentence answering this question. So Janil says, the building is the world's tallest tower located in my city, Dubai. Way too complex, Janil. So the exercise here is simply subject, verb, object. We're going back to the roots of English grammar here. And okay, so Saga says the Burj Khalifa is the tallest building. Stop thinking about the tallest building, Saga. Just answer this question. Talk about a beautiful building. Okay. Let's see who comes up with that first simple sentence first to answer this. Yeah, very good, Rajveer. That's exactly what I'm looking for. So the Burj Khalifa is a beautiful building in Dubai. Okay, so that's your foundation. That's your basic sentence, okay? And this is how you want to start this exercise when you're doing it at home. So you grab a Task 2 cue card, you look at the topic sentence, the statement, what you're actually supposed to do. You look at that first question, and then you answer it in a very, very simple way. The Burj Khalifa is a beautiful building in Dubai. Okay. Now, for the next step, you want to create another fact, which is the Burj Khalifa is the tallest building in the world. All right. So here, I took that sentence that everybody started with. And now we want to join these two sentences. Okay. So we've got two base sentences, and now we want to join them. Okay, so we're building grammar here. Okay. How can I join these? What grammar can I use? So if I want to join the Burj Khalifa as a beautiful building in Dubai, the Burj Khalifa is the tallest building in the world, then how can I join these two sentences together? What kind of grammar can help me to join these two sentences? Give me some ideas, okay? And this is where you're actively provoking your thinking to think about different ways to use ideas. Okay, so Janil says use adjective clauses. Rajveer says use conjunctions. Okay, sure. All right. So first, let's join it with a conjunction. Okay, so do this for me. First, join these two sentences together with a conjunction. I'm going to do that. While you do that, we'll see if we end up with the same. bada bing, bada bang, bada boom. Let's see who came up with this. So Saga says the Burj Khalifa is a beautiful building in Dubai as well as the tallest building in the world. Okay, good. So now we have a compound sentence. So we have a sentence that is more complex, that is more fluent. Good, Saga. And again, remember, students, that I always encourage you to use those correlative conjunctions here, all right? So this is my sentence with the conjunction. The Burj Khalifa is not only a beautiful building in Dubai, but it is also the tallest in the world, okay? So Saga, you're using a coordinating conjunction, okay, as well as, it's like using and. I'm using a correlative conjunction, so not only, but also. So I'm using a different type of conjunction, all right? Rajveer says, the Burj Khalifa is a beautiful building in Dubai, and it is the tallest building in the world. Good, so Rajveer is simply using the coordinating conjunction and. It's kind of like a synonym of what Saga wrote with as well as, okay? Jainil is using the correlative conjunction. The Burj Khalifa is not only one of the one of the beautiful buildings in Dubai, but also it is the tallest in the world. Jainil, just a quick side note, it's a grammar class, so it's a very common grammar mistake. And I'm also focusing here on correcting some of your mistakes when I see them. So Jainil, that was a good example. All right, and so one of many. It's a plural, okay? Very common mistake, Jainil, to forget that it's one of the beautiful buildings in Dubai, okay? All right, so we're going to build this grammar a little bit further. And we're going to do that in just a moment. Now, here, Janil says that was a typo mistake. Regardless, Janil, and you want to be careful with typos, you always want to remember this one of many, okay? So one of the beautiful buildings in Dubai. What's the difference, students, between using a correlative conjunction, like not only beautiful, but also the tallest, like Jainil and myself, and what Rajveer and Saga did? So what's the difference? Okay. So versus not only, but also. Yeah, so Jainil says that there's more emphasis in the statement when you're using the correlative conjunction. So not only, but also, right? Absolutely. So more emphasis on the information, in this case, beautiful and tallest. Okay. All right. It's not more academic, Saga. It's more emphasis. It carries more strength. Okay. So in this case, then, which one is the better choice? Okay. Remember this, members, that when you're learning grammar, when you're using grammar, and this is between band 6.5 and band 9 on the IELTS, it's not just about using the correct grammar, but it's using the best grammar, okay? You have a lot of different options for grammar in English, and you always want to use the best grammar. And this is, Rajveer, going towards, again, that question of how do I not only sound natural, but how do I sound like an expert communicator? Okay, so keep that in mind. So from band 6.5 to 9 on IELTS, you do not only want to use correct grammar, but you also want to use the best grammar. Okay. So in this case, if we read this, which one would you choose if you are the examiner and you're marking this student's speaking? Which one would you mark higher? The Burj Khalifa is not only a beautiful building in Dubai, but it is also the tallest in the world. Or the Burj Khalifa is a beautiful building and it is the tallest in the world. So would you mark the first one with the correlative conjunction higher, or would you mark the second one with and it is the tallest in the world higher? Okay. So Saga says not only, but also. These are open questions and we can debate these, right? So grammar, especially when you start to get into the advanced level of English, becomes debatable and people do it all the time. Okay. Janelle says this tip is also shown the perfect grammar. I'm not exactly sure what you're talking about, Janelle. You have to explain that a little bit more. Okay. I think the examiner would mark the correlative conjunction better in this case. And this is coming into the second focus of today's lesson. It's the understanding grammar. Okay. So you want to practice building grammar, and you also want to understand the grammar clearly so that you can be selective in your grammar. All right. So let's keep going here. Give me some more simple sentences answering this question, what is this building? Okay, so I'm going back here. So we have the Burj Khalifa is a beautiful building in Dubai. The Burj Khalifa is the tallest building in the world. Give me more information about what is this building. Give me some more sentences to work with. And then we're going to get into some more sentences here. Okay, and some more advanced grammar. That's what I'm going towards. Right, so what else is the Burj Khalifa? I'm sure you know some information about it, so. What is it? What is this building? If not, quickly Google it. Okay, give me some more simple sentences. Okay, we're going to build this response. And I guess we could say that this is kind of like a game of Legos with language, and in this case, the English language. So we have lots of different little pieces, different colors, different shapes and sizes, and we can put it together in many, many different ways. And our goal is to basically build a beautiful castle or a beautiful skyscraper like the Burj Khalifa, but in the world of language, okay, in the sense of language. So Burj Khalifa is a beautiful building in Dubai. We're answering the question. The Burj Khalifa is the tallest building. We're giving some more detail. What else is the Burj Khalifa? Okay, Janelle says the Burj Khalifa has a unique shape. All right, I'll just take some sentences. It's something else, though. So, sure, it has a unique shape. Okay, what else is it? Okay, Saga, keep the sentences simple. So I just want simple sentences. What basically I'm asking you to do here is give me Lego pieces that I can then construct and build different components, okay? So Saga says the Burj Khalifa does not only contain malls and boutiques, but also some offices and a hotel, okay? Give me some more sentences here. So boutiques, offices, okay? So it is a hotel, it is a shopping mall, it is a boutique. Now, by the way, this is a really neat exercise to also train yourself to come up with some really good fluent answers with lots of information for your part two response, okay? All right. Anything else? Is the Burj Khalifa any other? Does it serve any other purpose? Does it do anything else? Okay. I'll give you one. All right. So, yeah, it's a tourist spot. Very good, Nico. Absolutely, right? So the Burj Khalifa attracts tourists from all over the world, right? Okay, good. All right, so it's an international tourist attraction. Okay, so now I have a question for you here. And this has to do with understanding grammar. Okay. So you're going to see me kind of jump around and you're going to be like, what am I doing? But it'll all make sense in the end. So, what are the reasons that English speakers use present perfect? There are five reasons, five kind of main reasons that English speakers will use the present perfect tense. And this is the concept of understanding grammar. So again, the focus of today's lesson is Band 9 grammar. It's not just grammar or English grammar, but it's Band 9 grammar in the IELTS exam, which means an expert user of the English language. Saga, you got to forget this concept of more academic. Yes, there are words that are used in academia more. One example we had from a class earlier in the week was using the word mean instead of average in statistics. But the way that people learn academic and non-academic in the IELTS is not really true. There's no actual such concept. In fact, it's ironic because we have the name Academic English Help and Academic IELTS Help, but that's only a construct that actually doesn't truly exist, which is kind of ironic. I always have a good laugh about that. It's the name of the YouTube channel as well. But there is technically no such concept as academic English. It's just different forms of English. Formal, informal, Saga. But what are the reasons that people use present perfect in English? There's five reasons. I'll give you a hint. And I think some students have learned this from me. Some of the members that have been in the class longer, Rajveer maybe, or Jaineel, can kind of conceptualize this. So why do we use present perfect? It's amazing because a lot of people use it, and oftentimes people don't know why they use it. That is the representation, Rashika, that it happened in the past. It influences the present. Okay, so the five reasons that we use present perfect are, number one, to emphasize experience. Two, to emphasize expectation. 3, to emphasize achievement. 4, to emphasize change over time. And 5, to emphasize repetition over time. Okay, these are the 5 reasons that you use the present perfect in the English language. Okay, and their opposites are also true. Or non-experience, or expectations still persist. I'm going to explain these, don't worry. Or no achievement yet. No change over time. And no repetition over time. Okay. So here, using our example of the Burj Khalifa, let me give you one that that emphasizes achievement. Okay. Okay, so here's an example of emphasizing achievement with the present perfect. So instead of just saying it is a tourist destination, I can change that to it has been a tourist destination for millions of people from all over the world. Okay, so this is an achievement. This is something that the people of the UAE, of the Arab world, were able to accomplish by building the world's tallest building, making it one of the major tourist attractions internationally. So it has been a tourist destination for millions of people from all over the world. It's an achievement. Now, as Rashika correctly said, so the way that present perfect works, and I'm just using present perfect as an example here, but this is also true for all of the other kinds of grammar like past perfect, conditionals, unreal conditionals. So I'm just using present perfect in this case, but this is what you want to do when you're studying your grammar. Members, I want to be really clear here. I can't possibly teach you all of the English grammar, and you know this, in a 1-hour lesson. I just want to teach you today how to think about grammar using a Part 2 cue card to get that Band 9 level thinking that right here was asking about using natural complex grammar. Okay? All right, so when you use the present perfect, and I guess a lot of you have seen these graphs in your grammar books, then what it means is that something started in the past, it continues until the present, and will most likely continue into the future. So this is the present perfect. How many of you have seen this graph of the present perfect? And the reason why I have an open circle here is because it's not a specific time. It's not like saying a Tuesday. So not specific. Okay, it's not a specific time. Okay. And it continues till the present and then into the future. Okay. Now, when we're talking about the Burj Khalifa, which is, so Saga says a lot of times, okay? And Saga, it has to make sense in context. So this makes sense in context because when you're talking about an achievement, so it's not the actual building itself, but it's the achievement, it's the concept that we're thinking about. So here, let me just get to this. So here, when we want to emphasize achievement, when did this achievement start? This achievement started in the past when somebody thought about the idea of the Burj Khalifa, when they started building it, or when they finished building it. It doesn't matter. The idea is that the world's tallest, one of the most incredible buildings was built in Dubai. So that started in the past. That achievement of building the Burj Khalifa continues until the present. And this achievement of this building and attracting millions of tourists will likely continue into the future. Okay? I'll give you a really kind of simple example of this in another way, just so you get an even better idea with questions. Okay? So present perfect exists in question form, just like statements. Okay. Okay, so this one is with emphasizing expectation. Okay, so when we have an expectation of somebody, we use the present perfect to make it very clear for them that we expect that. Now, native speakers of English feel this very strongly. Even though they probably won't be able to explain the grammar rules behind it like what I'm doing for you right now, they just feel it. But when you actually look and research, you'll find this to be very true. So your classmate might ask you something like, did you do your homework? This is using the simple tense. They're using the simple tense because they don't expect you to do your homework. They're just curious if you did your homework or not. Maybe they forgot, or they haven't done it, or they did do it and they're wondering if you did it. So they just use the simple tense. Okay? However, your teacher, or when you're younger, your parents are going to use the present perfect. Have you done your homework? Okay? That's because, again, in that timeline, okay, so when you have an expectation, like when your teacher expects that you did your homework, then their expectation starts basically when they gave you that homework assignment. So when you have the homework assignment to write an essay, I expect as your teacher to do that essay. That's my job as your teacher, to make sure that you're learning. So I have an expectation. That expectation continues into the present time. So today you have to hand in your homework, and I'm going to ask you, have you done your homework? I expect that you did it, and that expectation that started when I gave you the homework still exists now. And of course, if you tell me that you didn't do your homework, then that expectation will continue into the future. So tomorrow or next week, I'm still going to ask you, have you done your homework? And you're going to say, no, I haven't, or yes, I have. So you're basically answering in the present perfect to tell me that you've completed that. Is that clear? So when I give you the 5 reasons to use the present perfect, which is experience, expectation, achievement, change over time, or repetition over time, those contexts are important. They start in the past, they continue into the present, and then they will likely continue into the future. So it's the construct or the concept that's really important here. Okay, everybody's clear on that, right? So that's why we pick and choose our grammar depending on what we want the other person to feel. And this is one of the most beautiful parts of the English language, and this is one of the reasons English has become so popular. See, change over time has become so popular all over the world because English doesn't just simply express clearly an idea, but it also expresses an emotion or a desire, as in the case of the present perfect, okay? So that's why English grammar can get so complicated. All right, now your goal in the IELTS is to use that grammar effectively. So you want to apply it to all of these different elements, okay? So let's go back to our sentences. Okay. So the first one, we used a correlative conjunction. The Burj Khalifa is not only a beautiful building in Dubai, but it is also the tallest building in the world. Okay. And now I'm going to grab this sentence that I wrote and I'm going to stick it in here just for fun. Okay. All right. So this exercise, basically what I'm doing is I'm collecting these little pieces by just writing down some really simple sentences as you have helped me to put together so far. These are basically my little Lego cubes. Okay. And then by learning grammar and understanding grammar, I'm putting it together to create more complex ideas that are reaching for those high band scores. So now from those three simple sentences, the Burj Khalifa is a beautiful building in Dubai. The Burj Khalifa is the tallest building in the world. The Burj Khalifa is visited by tourists. I have created these two sentences. The Burj Khalifa is not only a beautiful building in Dubai, but it is also the tallest in the world. It has been a tourist destination for millions of people from all over the world. Okay? Now, because I have world already, I can just say from all over. All right, so basically I took band 5 level simple sentences and I put them together into band 9 communication. Now, of course, this sentence is much more than those three simple sentences because it carries emphasis. It also tells my listener that this is a great achievement. Is that clear so far? Okay, is everybody clear on that? How I did that. So how I basically took simple grammar, simple sentences, and by understanding more complex grammar of conjunctions and present perfect, I can basically weave together or glue together a much more complex idea. Okay. Now, in order to do that, of course, you do have to understand grammar in great detail, not just simply understanding how it works, but of course the reasons of why you use it. Okay, Rashika says yes. Janiel says yes, perfectly. So let's go back and let's see if we can now grab some other information and use some of what I told you to create some sentences. Okay. All right. So it is a hotel. It is a shopping mall. It is an office building. So take these three sentences, I haven't used them, and using conjunctions and using present perfect, put these together in a more interesting, in a higher band level composition. Okay, can you do that? So it is a hotel, it is a shopping mall, it is an office building. Okay, Put that together. So put it together into a nice, complex, compound sentence or sentences that carry emphasis and that carry more meaning. Okay? I'll give you a minute for that. Okay, don't take too long. So let's have a little bit of fluency as well. And don't worry about making mistakes because I'm here to correct you on those mistakes. So it is a hotel. It is a shopping mall. It is an office building. And there are different correlative conjunctions that you can use, like both and. All right, who's going to be the first one to come up with it? I'm going to start writing of what I think you should be putting together, and then we'll compare, okay? And I'm just going to continue from where I wrote. Okay. So Nico says the Burj Khalifa also has been used as an office building as well as a shopping mall and accommodation for tourists and visitors. Okay, good, Nico. That's exactly what I'm talking about. Very good. All right. Now, in this case, Nico, why are you using the present perfect? Okay. Rashika says it has consisted of a hotel, shopping mall, and offices. Little bit awkward, Rashika, but I get where you're going with it. So it has been built. This is where you could use the present perfect passive, Rashika. It has been built to be a hotel, a mall, and office building. Okay. Janelle says it has both commercial and residential uses. It has offices, hotel, and shopping mall. Now, that's not present perfect, Janelle, because there you're just using has in the sense of having. Okay. All right. So this is what I wrote. It serves visitors as both a shopping mall and a hotel. Many businessmen have been using the 220-story building as office space. Now, my final question today is, many businessmen have been using the 220-story building as office space. By the way, I don't know if it's 220 stories. I'm just making that up. But I'm using the present perfect here, and Nico is using the present perfect as well. Why are we using the present perfect? Which of these 5 reasons does it satisfy? Is it experience, expectation, achievement, change over time, or repetition over time? Which of these 5 reasons is Nico and myself emphasizing? Anybody know? Janelle says number 5, repetition over time. Okay, any other ideas? Nico says maybe number 5. No, it's actually number 1. It's experience. So this sentence for the native ear basically means businessmen have had the experience of using this building as office space. This is what that sentence means, okay? So many businessmen have been using the 220-story building as office space. Businessmen have had the experience of using this building as office space. That's what it's emphasizing. Okay? So again, it takes practice, but now that you know the reasons for present perfect, you're on the right path. So again, just to summarize what I've been focusing on in this class, the key points, okay? Number 1, learn grammar in context. So take a part 2 cue card and use the questions on the cue card to train yourself for grammar, okay? Number 2, make sure that you start with basic sentences when you do this exercise. So get your Lego pieces. So write a lot of just simple sentences. Don't use adjective clauses. Don't use conditions. Don't use adverbial clauses. Don't use any kind of complex compound sentences. Just start with basics. Then once you have written lots of basic sentences to answer those questions, start putting them together with different kinds of grammar. And every time that you use some form of grammar, think about, why am I using this grammar? What's my purpose for this grammar? Okay, so that's the exercise. Try that and let me know how it goes. Okay, so that's basically a very dense lesson on how to build Band 9 grammar for the IELTS exam. Okay, that's one exercise. You can, of course, do that with writing task 2 questions as well. Okay, with some of the other speaking questions also. And on that topic, in about 40 minutes, I will be back with a speaking part 3 lesson where everybody will be able to join in on the chat. That's all the time I have right now. I'm hoping that you got some valuable information and some practical exercises that you can put into your daily studies as well from this lesson. Thank you so much, members, for your effort. I know that's challenging and high, fast pace, but that was the goal of a Band 9 grammar, building Band 9 grammar class. Again, to learn more grammar, check out the bonus writing course at ahelp.com, or it's the same course in glshelp.com. If you go into that bonus writing course, it will have a really nice play-by-play or section-by-section of how to build this grammar. Okay? All right. You're very welcome, Janelle. You're very welcome, everybody. Have a good break. I will be back in half an hour. Again, for all of you watching, join our premium package at ahelp.com and glshelp.com. It's a one-time payment for lifetime access. Well worth it. Lots of content there for you. I'm signing out for now. Back in 30 minutes with speaking part 3 practice, questions, and answers. Bye.